From Hoboken to Spokane, the Star-Spangled Man with a plan. Sorry, 7 years later, that song's still stuck in my head. Captain America, the First Avenger. So Captain America, the First Avenger is the 5th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's the first one that makes you really feel like this is a lived-in, thought-out, thorough universe, not just a shared hodgepodge of superhero movies. Because this is a superhero movie, but it's also a war film, and it's also a period piece, and it goes for a lot of different film elements and covers a lot of different genres, and it does them all pretty well. It's even got a bit of a spy thriller involved. Not quite so much as The Winter Soldier, but it's there. It's got its own merit. And I'm sure you can imagine as this being, Captain America's origin story, that it takes place in World War II back in the time, and people, liked the idea of serving their country. We're in the thick of it. Tensions are high. We've got this shadow organization called Hydra that's rising up, and there's basically a stand-in for the Nazi regime at the time. Everybody wants to do their bit for Queen and Country, including our hero Steve Rogers, but he's a little too, to fight in the war. Nobody wants to let him. But then he comes across this German doctor named Dr. Erskine, and he's like, you know what? I like you. You get to go ahead and join the army. So he joins, he goes to boot camp, he trains, and all through the entire process, he's showing that he's got the brains, he's got the courage, he's got the charisma to be perfect for the Super Soldier program. What's the Super Soldier program? Well, I'm pretty sure you already know, but for the sake of this being a review, Super Soldier program is how you get from zero to hero, how you get from this guy to absolute Chad Chris Evans over here. They go through the process. It makes him an absolute superhuman, but unfortunately there was a Hydra spy there, and he kills Dr. Erskine, and his research goes with him, so they cannot recreate the super soldier serum. He's the only one that they have. And so in this moment that things start really going wrong for Steve. He's wondering why he's on stage doing USO Tours, performing like he's a little puppet instead of, getting in the battle, being on the front lines, fighting Nazis. Everything changes though when Steve finds out that there's a platoon of American soldiers that have gone missing behind enemy lines, and he leads a one-man mission to go in there, get his friends, and get out. This makes everybody change their mind, and they're like, you know what, let's have Captain America get out there and do some cool stuff. So you get this cool montage of him just murdering Nazis because it's the American way. Now by this point he's already had his first face-to-face with the villain of the movie, the Red Skull, who's basically a stand-in for Hitler in this movie. The Red Skull's plan here is to take the Tesseract, which I don't think was supposed to be the Space Stone yet, but here we are. The Tesseract is basically a battery that he uses to charge up these weapons, and he's going to use these weapons to blow up the planet. Very comic book, very 1940s, very early James Bond, I know. But back on the side of the good guys, one thing leads to another, something goes wrong on a mission, and Captain America's lifelong friend, Bucky Barnes, falls to his death. That's exactly what happened. This gets Captain America's blood boiling. He's like, oh, I'm not going to stop until all of Hydra is dead or captured. So he goes in there and he gets himself captured. But it's okay because now he's in the perfect position to bust up the Red Skull's plan. So they have a nice little fisticuffs, and then the Red Skull gets beamed up to apparently Vormir now, but at the time we had no idea what happened to him. And as the situation becomes more and more dire, Captain America realizes there's only one way to save the day here. He's got to put this big plane in the water. That's the only way to save everybody. And his love interest, who I guess I haven't even mentioned up until now, Peggy Carter's like, no, Steve, you can't do that. You have to, no. And the thing about her is she's actually one of the least annoying superhero love interests in the interests. She's functional, and she serves a purpose on screen other than just being arm candy for Steve Rogers, is all I'm trying to say about her. Let's move on. So the Tesseract is recovered, but they don't find Steve Rogers' body for another 70 years. So when he wakes up in the present, he meets Nick Fury, everybody's favorite pirate boy. And then rather than your traditional post-credit scene, you get an actual trailer for the Avengers. In the end, Captain America the First Avenger is exciting, it's fast-paced. Once the ball gets rolling, it doesn't really slow down. There's moments for character development and humanizing moments for them. And there's growth in every character. You feel attached to everybody. By the time Bucky, dies in the film, you're like, no, Steve Rogers just lost his best friend. So the movie does a good job of pulling you into the world that it takes place in and making you care for everybody that you see on screen. Even Tommy Lee Jones. The only thing that's keeping this from being spectacular is just that there's a couple of tropes that's a little bit too cheesy. There's a lot of problems with it, and they kind of make it fall short of my A+ rating. So I guess I have to say that it was worth the price of admission back in 2011. But Captain America the First Avenger, I'm sure you've seen it by now, so what did you think about it? Comment below and educate me. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, well, then you're just a weirdo. But hey, I'll take it. If you want more of my videos, just click on right there. I'll see you tomorrow.